A little over 3 months ago, I decided I no longer wanted to use my phone as a medium for mindless entertainment. I wanted my time back, so I turned my smartphone into a modern dumbphone. Here's how I did it and how it's going. Have you ever felt like real life is actually the life we live online? Like the life outside of the screen is just a gap between our real lives that we live virtually online. Scrolling is now an activity for all ages. Many of us can't even use the bathroom, eat a meal, or watch a movie without scrolling. This really hit home for me one day when I accidentally left my phone at home when going to a small gathering at a friend's house. There was one point in the evening where I looked around and everyone else in the room was on their phone. It was kind of a surreal feeling. It was simultaneously like I was missing out on what the internet had to say, and at the same time, like everyone else was missing out on what was actually happening in reality. It was in that moment that I knew I wanted out. I knew I still wanted the conveniences of a modern smartphone without all of the distractions. My objectives were as follows. 1. To make my phone as boring as possible. 2. To make it an input-only device. No consumption, just input. Number 3, to create as much friction as possible for accessing distracting websites and applications. The first thing I did was remove any applications from my phone that could possibly be distracting to me. All social media, gone. YouTube, gone. Email, gone. News, gone. The next thing I did was install an app called Burnout Buddy to stop me from accessing any of those platforms. I also blocked websites I tend to get distracted by, like Reddit, news, etc. I've heard Opal is also a great app for this. I will leave both of them linked down in the description. I also put Burnout Buddy into strict mode to help me avoid a moment of weakness. I will say there are workarounds, but this has been plenty of friction for me. Next, I tackled notifications. I ended up turning off about 90% of them. Anything that I wanted to see but wasn't necessarily immediately important, I put into 2 daily scheduled summaries. I get one at 8 a.m. when I usually eat breakfast, and another at 5 p.m. when I'm just wrapping up work for the day. I also set up the focus modes on my phone to actually serve me. The only things that come through immediately are text messages or phone calls from a predetermined list of contacts. If I need to text back and forth with someone outside of that list, I will just temporarily add them to my work focus and then remove them afterwards. The next thing I did was try to make my phone as visually unappealing as possible. I set up a triple click of my phone's power button to turn the screen black and white, and it lives in that mode 95% of the time. Secondly, I set up my home screen with only one widget, screen time. Embarrassing, I know. I tried a few of those minimal home screen apps, but all of them ended up costing money to serve their function. Might be worth it to you, but it's not worth it to me. Also, I turned my background gray for both my home screen and my lock screen, so it's just extra boring, even if my phone is in color mode. Now my phone serves as a tool to give me the information I need while not distracting me while I'm trying to live my life out in the real world. I went from about 3.5 hours a day of screen time to averaging around an hour a day currently. Most of my time is Spotify, JeffIt, the app I use to track my workouts, and Notion, where I write scripts and keep track of my life. Has my life changed? Yeah, I'd say it's been a 5% quality of life improvement for me, which is actually pretty dramatic if you think about it. I actually do something with most of my evenings now, and I don't suddenly snap out of an accidental hour-long scrolling session. I still check social media every day or two, but it's a quick check on desktop. Instagram Reels just don't hit the same on a desktop screen. So, am I going to keep my phone as a modern dumb phone? Well, yes. I feel absolutely no need to go back. My phone is now simply a tool that's available for me when I want it, and it stays in my way when I don't. Just like it was initially meant to be.